I think this might be one of the only months since the beginning of You Choose that I'm actually like on track with posting this video and filming this video. So I will actually know the book you choose before I film my November TBR. What? For those of you who don't know, I will leave all the details about You Choose in the description box down below. I'll have a link to some videos that explain it in detail, and also I'll describe it in the description box down below for you guys. You guys get to vote on what I'm going to read in November. The category or genre, etc. that you guys chose this month was fantasy. Every time the Twitter poll for the category that you get to choose from has fantasy in it, you pick fantasy. Make sure to comment down below with the choice of these 4 books that you want me to read. You can also click on the Twitter poll down below so you can vote on Twitter. You can also click on the Instagram link so you can vote on Instagram. You can vote in 3 different areas, 3 different times, so you can have 3 different votes, and I promise you, your vote matters because the winner of last month's You Choose won by only 2 votes, which is like really, really close. So please vote in all 3 areas. I chose 2 adult fantasy and 2 young adult fantasy to kind of like mix it up this month. The first adult fantasy you can choose from is The Lies of Locke, Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is like a well-loved classic adult fantasy, and I've never read it for many reasons. 1, the series isn't over. I'm already in love with many fantasy series that aren't over, and I'm waiting a million years for the final book, so I just don't need more of it. But I've heard nothing but good things. Patrick Rothfuss, whom I love, loves this series. I hear about it all the time. I'm thinking maybe it's finally time to pick it up. It is by far the biggest book that I have for you guys to choose from, so this will limit my November TBR in a way because I won't be able to read as much, but it doesn't mean that it's not totally worth it for like the quality. As far as I know, this is kind of like a Robin Hood-esque book with a twist. So it follows a young man named Locke Lamora who steals from the rich and, legend says, gives to the poor, but he doesn't give to the poor. He saves it for himself and his band of miscreants that are called the Gentleman Bastards. This series is actually called the Gentleman Bastards series, but apparently the main character is super anti-hero lovable, which is totally my jam. So I don't know too much about it except for the Robin Hood vibes and the fact that the character is super likable, but not good. I'm intrigued and I don't really want to know more. Next, we have Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna Maguire. This is the sequel to Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire. For those of you who don't know, Every Heart a Doorway follows kids, much like Alice and Dorothy, that go to other lands or other worlds, and then they get brought back to the real world and they feel like they don't belong for obvious reasons. And it follows a school that kind of collects all those kids and tries to make them feel like they belong again because they can't get back to these worlds that they think they're supposed to end up in. Super cool, super twisted fairy tale-esque. I liked the writing, I liked the characters. It was dark without being too dark necessarily. This follows different main characters than the first book did, but it follows characters that you meet in the first book. This is almost like a sequel that's a prequel. So it follows the world that Jack and Jill were in before Every Heart a Doorway, I think. Could totally be wrong about that again, but I'm pretty sure that is how this works. And as far as I know, that world was pretty dark, so it will definitely be solid November vibes, which is kind of exciting. And again, it's a series that I've wanted to get to for a while, but just haven't gotten to yet. Next, we have The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine M. Valente. I have wanted to read this for years. I am super excited about picking it up. It is a super classic middle grade adventure story that follows a young girl named September who, as far as I know, circumnavigates Fairyland in a ship of her own making. It's supposed to be super classic middle grade adventure, lots of magic, lots of intrigue, lots of adventure, lots going on, and I'm super excited about it. I love that it's a female main character middle grade written by a female author. I have high hopes. This book gets really good reviews by a lot of people. And recently, Jen Campbell, who I'm reading one of her books right now, I love her. She's a YouTuber that I love. She posted a video about books. I will try to find the video and link it down below for you. You should watch it. It's totally great. But she talks about the fact that this book is a book where books play a large role in the plot of this book. I hope that makes sense in some sort of way. And I love books that revolve around books. So now I really want to read this even more than I did before. So very excited. And last but not least, we have a like middle grade fantasy classic that I haven't read. I've wanted to read for a long time. It was on a TBR a while ago. I started it, got 100 pages in, didn't finish it, and that is The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. Philip Pullman has had some transphobic comments online recently that just didn't sit super well with me. So like, just as like a disclaimer, I'm not saying that I like love or support the author necessarily or their views on certain topics. Do your own research on that. I will try to find some stuff and link it if I can. But I do still really want to read this series. It looks really interesting and it's a classic that a lot of people talk about, and I would really like to be able to also like take part in that conversation. And it's one of those series of books that like people are like, oh, you liked Harry Potter? You should read this. You should read Narnia, etc. And it's one of those ones that I have not read yet and would really like to finally get to. Okay, so those are your 4 choices for November's Fantasy You Choose category. Make sure to comment down below, link to the Twitter poll, and comment on my Instagram post for all 3 of your votes for this. I guess in theory, if you really want to vote for like more than one, you could vote for like one on this and one on another. I count all the votes, so if you're like indecisive about which one you want me to read, you could vote on different books, which I didn't even think of until right now, but that would be like a good way to con the system. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys choose. I wonder if it will be as close as last month's was. I'm like very interested in the fact that you guys can vote 3 different ways now, which wasn't the case a couple months ago. So You Choose is progressing. I'm trying to progress with it. I'm very excited. Also, if this is the first time that you're participating in You Choose, comment down below and let me know, because I'm really excited to see like who's been doing it since the very beginning, who's just starting to participate now, etc, etc. And if you have any recommendations on videos you want to see from me, also always let me know that. And other than that, I will see you guys soon with another video. Happy reading. Bye!